Well, all right. So just decided to go live just for a moment. People really didn't like the Al Mohler video. That's not true. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. A lot of people did really like it, and but a lot of people thought it was unfair. And so I just figured I'd get here and maybe respond to some of the negative comments a little bit because some of them were interesting, and I felt like in my more. Here's one from about an hour ago. This guy says, "Good grief. Talk about elitism. Find a mirror, friend. Pulling stuff out of entire bias, biasness." I don't know what that means. He says, "You're not going to get access to Fortune 500 CEOs, nor will you garner one-on-one meetings with John MacArthur. As if you have access to their meetings, that would be a good thing for Christians. You've managed to garner a group of Big Eva in a cultish format. Social media gives rise to this sort of self-elitism, and guys like Al Mohler know the dangers of social media." Well, I got to say, I don't really quite understand this. It seems like there's some missing words here and some missing context, but I wasn't trying to say that the fact that I didn't have access to Al Mohler was a bad thing. In fact, in the video, I said, I'm not saying I should have access to Al Mohler. But the thing is, though, if you're trying to set the standard for like serious conversations, is being in the meeting room, so to speak, being a mover and shaker, but then you also likewise don't have access to guys like you and stuff like that, that's elitist because what you're actually saying is the way normies communicate, like online and stuff like that, that's actually not real conversation. Like when you do that, that's when you become elitist because the normies are on Twitter and social media and in our own meetings and out there kind of thing. They're not in the meeting room like you. And so it's not the fact that I don't have access to Al Mohler. I actually probably wouldn't meet with Al Mohler most likely because I know he tried to do the Jedi mind trick on me. And let's just be honest, I might be susceptible to something like that. I don't know. I've never actually met a Jedi. So I probably wouldn't take a meeting with Al Mohler. But the thing is, like, that's not what the elitist part is. The elitist part is saying this is the only way to have a serious conversation. In fact, if you can even see the quotation that I pulled here, commenter, here's what he says. He says, Southern Baptists are much better in person than we are on Twitter and much better than we are outside of the room. What he's saying is like outside of the rooms where things get done, where the rooms of power, you know what I mean? That's where Southern Baptists aren't that good out there, but they're really good in the rooms of power, where the offices, the back alleys and stuff like that. And the reason why I know that's what he's saying is because that's what the context says. Here's the context of that. He says, the convening authority of the president. So we're talking the upper echelons of power here, guys. The authority of the president says, look, I can at least make sure that people are in a room and I can at least make sure that these issues are getting discussed. And I can do everything possible to make sure they're discussed in a way that is most healthy and most respectful. And so what he's talking about is his round table. And he's saying that round table where the president's there, he's holding court and all of his capos are there talking about whatever it is they talk. Trust them, though. Trust them. They're talking about it in a healthy and respectful way. You can't have access to it. You can't have a video into it. You can't have the audio or the minutes or anything, but trust them. It's healthy and respectful. He's saying that those Southern Baptists are much better. The Twitter and the ones that are outside of that room that where he's holding court, they're not as good. That's the elitism. It's not the fact that I can't meet with Al Mohler. I probably wouldn't meet with Al Mohler. That's not the point. The point is he's saying that war room where the president's there with his capos, that's the real serious discussion. And then the fake kind of bogus discussion is on Twitter and outside of that room. And so that's the elitism. And I don't really understand why that wouldn't be elitism. And the point is not that I can't have access to him. The point is that he's kind of setting up this dichotomy. But and then the point of like the social media is dangerous. Okay, Al, if it's so dangerous, you get off social media because I happen to think that I can control social media. But if you think it's the most dangerous thing since sliced bread, why don't you get off social media and go like that? See, this is the thing. It's not dangerous for him and his buddies. It's not dangerous for me and the capos, It's dangerous for the people that are challenging the capos. That's the issue. That's the problem. Anyway, but I appreciate the comment. Thanks for watching. Here's a comment. Says a ridiculous number of ads. Well, thank you for that comment, by the way, because That's actually very helpful to me because I have my ads automated. And sometimes there's just a ridiculous number of ads. Like I after I got this comment, there was like 10 ads on this 30-minute video. That's ridiculous. But if you let me know, I can go back and I can kind of manually adjust all that kind of stuff and all that, and it's better. So thank you for letting me know. If you ever see that there's a ton of ads on a video, let me know so I can change it. All right. Let's just take a look at the next one. This guy says, he was saying that when people are face to face, they can get to a common understanding. But when we are apart, we don't have any incentive to come together. I don't. He's saying that I misrepresented him, and so he's saying that. But actually, I don't. I mean, okay, but I don't agree with that at all. I mean, like I said in the video, like there are tons of people that somehow manage to have online interactions and interactions outside of Al Mohler's war room. That's apparently the only place to have a serious discussion, I guess. There are plenty of people that have online interactions that are totally respectful and they come together and they interact and everything's fine. Like that happens all the time. So, okay, he's saying that you can get a common understanding when you're apart, but you can't get a common understanding online. That's not true. That's bogus. That's a lie. That's not correct. So I guess, I can clear that up a little bit for you. That helps. Here's a very respectful comment. This must be one of those social media guys that Al's talking about. He said that it's very disrespectful online. Mark says this. He says, this could quite possibly be AD's dumbest video. Common sense tells us you can reach common ground better in person, face-to-face, than on Twitter. And so I responded, I feel like I should respond to this, but I have no assurance that you're a real person because this is social media. Oh man. But actually that's not what he was saying though. He wasn't saying that you reach common ground better in person than on Twitter. What he was saying was get off Twitter. Like that's the thing. Like we don't have to take his words like in isolation. Like why would you do that? Like take his whole presentation on Twitter and let's talk about the whole presentation. Like he was saying, okay, my war room, the president's war room is the best place. That's where Southern Baptists are the best. And Al Mohler's war room, where his capos are there and they're all, shooting the breeze kind of thing. That's where the Southern Baptists are elite. And then on Twitter and then outside of the war room, even if you're in person, if you're outside of the war room, you're not as good. That's what he was saying. So you can't reach common ground face to face. No, you have to reach common ground face to face in his inner circle. In his inner circle, then you can reach common ground. That's what he was saying, Mark. And so I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not going to argue. Maybe the video was dumb. I'm not going to argue with that. But you're actually misrepresenting what he was saying. He wasn't saying that. He was saying that in the inner circle, is Al Mohler's inner circle. That's where you get serious engagement, serious conversation about critical race theory. And he's already ruled there is no leftward drift in the SBC. That's preposterous. There's no critical race theory in the SBC. How could you think such a thing? Meanwhile, there's critical race theory in his seminary. And that's what he doesn't like. He doesn't like anyone challenging his authority on anything. He just doesn't, he cannot countenance that. And the problem with Twitter is that you can do it whenever. You can be nobody. You could be anybody. You could even be a bot and challenge his authority. And that's not going to sit well with a guy like Al Mohler. So that's the thing, guys. Like, I appreciate you getting Al Mohler's back. A lot of you guys really like Al Mohler. I totally understand that. And I'm not going to argue with you that the video was dumb. It very well could have been dumb. But you're saying I'm missing the point. No, I think you're missing the point. He's not saying that Twitter's just like, maybe third in line in goodness. No, he's saying get off Twitter. He's telling you, get off Twitter. Southern Baptists need to get off Twitter and just listen to Al Mohler and his capos. We're not going to do that, man. Why would we do that? And so I understand getting his back. I'm glad that you're commenting here and you watched my video. I can't say that I'm glad you think my video is dumb. That's kind of hurtful. But no, I do appreciate the comment. But I think you're missing it, Mark. I don't think I'm the one missing it. I think you're the one missing it. But besides, I don't know why you would think I would seriously engage you. You might even be a Twitter bot, or I guess a YouTube bot. How do I even know you're a real person, Mark? I can't even talk to you. This conversation is so disrespectful and it's so discouraging. Just kidding. I'm not Al Mohler. I think social media is great. All right, let's read some comments here. All righty. So we got live chat going on here. This guy said, Big Eva's worried about an Arab Spring, as it were. Yeah, I agree with that. Big Eva is very worried about their power structures crumbling. Good comment. He says, hey, bro, I appreciate your work. Blessings. Yeah, God bless you as well. I'm glad you find it helpful. Says, Big Eva and Al have lost the truth. Pride and cowardice have taken over. Pray for the true believers to see through this nonsense. Yeah, I agree with that. And listen, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's not true believers in Big Eva. There definitely are. But I think that just the way that Big Eva engages, it's just not becoming of a Christian. Like they operate like the mafia. That's why people call them the latte mafia. You know, I think who came up with that? Was that JD Hall who came up with that? I don't know. Somebody came up with the latte mafia, and that's how they operate. They operate like a scarf wearing, big frame glasses, soy latte sipping mafia. That's how it is. And it's like, that's why you get this elitist stuff. When Mohler's like, well, the office of the president, he can make sure it happens respectful. Trust him. It's respectful. I know that guy, Russell Fuller, said that I ripped him a new one in my office, but that didn't happen. Trust me. I'm the capo here. Russell Fuller. I mean, we're expected to believe he's just a liar. That never happened because Al Mohler can guarantee that these conversations will happen in a very respectful way. Well, Al, we don't care about your guarantees. Your guarantee was probably worth something years ago, but it's not worth anything anymore. Your trusted for truth guarantee is meaningless these days. So there you go. But yes, I'm not saying that they're unbelievers. I'm just saying that, the way that they operate is unbecoming of a Christian. Let's just say it that way. All right. The ad thing is crazy. Yeah. With the amount of ads, I think that's what this person's talking about. Yeah, that was totally crazy. The person commented that there was so many ads, and I was like, oh, what is it going to be, like 4? There was like 10 ads. It was absolutely insane. And normally that doesn't happen. I just don't understand why it happens sometimes. Some people were saying it was a conspiracy. Like if it's a really good video, they put a lot of ads to bother people. I don't know about that, but I did fix it. So hopefully it'll be better now. All right. Let's see. Mark says, AD slapping us with ads to get that drip and them stacks. Yeah, that's true. I was actually writing I'm working on my book. It's getting there. It's going to be done pretty soon. And I was writing a chapter about that reparations sermon from Eric Mason. Man, that was a doozy. I was thinking about all that stuff, man. And I'm trying to, this would be the same with me. If somebody was trying to do a transcript of what I say, it'd be very difficult. But trying to do a transcript of what Eric Mason says, because of all the slang he uses and stuff like that, it is nigh impossible. All right. He says, we all got to do our local part and keep it and trust God and persevere. Yeah, that's right. Look, we got to keep it local. I completely agree. And that's not to say that national, institution type stuff, that's like all bad. That's not bad. Like, I don't have a problem with institutions. Like the problem I have with Big Eva is not that it's an institution and not that it's big. The problem is the way that they operate. I don't like that. And I think that they also are wrong on a lot of things. That's what I don't like. Anyway, here we go. Nicholas here is making fun of my usage of the word countenance. That's I agree. It's one of my favorite words. AD is just a bot. Yeah, that's right. Southern Baptists lost the Baptists. Get off Twitter. Yeah, maybe I should get off Twitter. I've been thinking about it, but now that Al Mohler's told me to get off Twitter, now I have to stay. People are recommending Parler and MeWe. I have a Parler, but I don't use it. And MeWe, I don't have one of those. Sarah recommends YouTube Premium. She says, no ads, just AD. Well, thank you. Yes, I don't have YouTube Premium. I can't necessarily recommend it or not, but hey, there's definitely some people that watch me on YouTube Premium. I see in the analytics. That's good. All right. Here's someone that says, I think the issue is that they beat around the bush so much that a lot of what they say becomes meaningless. Yeah, I completely agree. You can. I was talking to someone in the chat about this the other day. You can listen to a Tim Keller video about a very specific issue, and he'll talk for 5 minutes, and you're like, okay, but what's your position though? Like, what's the real position? Someone sent me a video he did about female elders, And does the Bible allow female elders? And like he talked about it for 5 minutes, and it's like, yeah, but you didn't answer the question though. Like that's just so annoying. That is the big problem. All right, here's someone says YouTube could be super random. Sometimes they don't put any midstream ads, and other times they insert 20 ads. Yeah, I don't, I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. It just seems to be totally random. And I've played with the settings to see if it works, but it's just random. It's like sometimes it works, and then sometimes you get 20 ads in a 10-minute video. It's just preposterous. I completely agree. Here's Mark Deaver says, "We out here. We out here." That's right, we are out here. All right. There's a fine line between criticism and hypercriticism. And how do you know when you've crossed that line? Yeah, that's a good question. And I think sometimes it's very difficult for you to know when you've crossed that line. And so my recommendation for you is to get people in your life that you can trust to tell you that you've crossed the line when you've crossed the line. Like you don't want to have a bunch of yes men around you. You don't want to have people that, like are against all, fighting, because that's not going to be helpful to you either. You need someone that's good at fighting and is willing to fight the good fight, but is also willing to stand up to you. So you it's very difficult. At least I find it difficult. I'll speak for myself. I find it difficult to know when I've crossed the line myself, but I've got my biological brother who's willing to call me out. My pastor is willing to call me out. And there are other guys online that I know fight that are also, kind of watching over my back. And that's what I would recommend. I'd recommend you find some men that you can trust for that exact thing. All right, let's see. I'm going to probably jump off in just a minute, but someone asked me if I'm really a bot, a Ukrainian bot. I mean, that would be some bot because, I'm live before you right now. All right. Ambiguity is the name of the game for the Big Eva. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, so the next question is, do I listen to Mike Winger at all? You're not the first person who asked me that, and I don't even really know who he is. But since you're not a few people have asked me about Mike Winger. I'll have to check him out. I don't know anything about him. All right, and Untouchable. Al Mohler's Big Eva's Elliot Ness, untouchable. Yeah, I agree. People really don't like it when I talk about Al Mohler. Even a lot of my friends, people that I consider friends, are really big into Al Mohler, so they think I give him a hard time too much. But that's just how it's going to be. All right. How about a short video on sphere sovereignty? Yeah, man, I've done that before. Jammy, thanks for the comment. I've definitely done that before. But yeah, I could do it again. That's something I should definitely do. And Jamie, that's something that I cover in my book as well. The sphere sovereignty thing at a very kind of foundational level. All right. Female, yeah. Tim Keller's churches are planting EPC churches, right? Yeah, female elders, but not female preachers. Yep. Yeah, he's big on that. And he's also big on, he has like, he calls them, what does he call them? Like non-ordained elders or something like that. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. When am I going to finish that wall? Good question. I don't know, man. It's actually that part that's not finished there. That's where the door is going to go. So the wall is actually, all up. We just need to put up the door and then finish the walls, of course. But cool. A couple more here. Let's see. Mike Winger's a very careful teacher, and he's very responsible and honest. Good. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check him out. That's good. So here's a plurality of church elders and submitting to their authority would be recommended. Yes, definitely. But you have to make sure. So elders, church elders are people you should definitely submit to. But if you're going to be doing commentary where you're critiquing people, you definitely need to find elders that are willing to fight the good fight, that understand criticism is totally legit, but also willing to stand up to you. There's a lot of elders out there that are missing one of those two things, and if you find one of those, it's not going to work. You need to find someone who's a man, right? Who's willing to stand up to you, but also knows you have to fight sometimes. All right, cool. Yeah. So by the way, this is my first live stream where I'm reading comments and I don't have like a plan really. And so let me know what you think about this. If you'd like to see more of this kind of format, this is, I just kind of wanted to try it out. And yeah, so anyway. Let's see, you consider how the chickens are good, man. The chickens are doing really good. It was like 12 degrees out last night, and so I was a little worried about them, but they're fine. All right. Unfinished doorways bring character into the room. Yeah, I agree. Am I considering getting the new COVID-19 vaccine? No, definitely not. And the more they want to push it, the less I'll likely get it. Is that kind of thing. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm definitely not getting that. All right. Thank you for the answers. Yeah, no, you're welcome. No plan is okay. Yep, I appreciate that. What dome polish do you use? Well, that's funny because I actually do have I used to use something called what was it? Head Blade. It was like a lotion from a company called Head Blade, and they had two options. They had a matte finish and then a glossy finish, and I used to always get the glossy. Why wouldn't you go glossy? I don't know. Why would you get a matte finish for a lotion for your head? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I used to use it. It was called Head Blade was the company. I don't know what the lotion was called, but it was good. All right. Live video. Yeah, man. No, it's good to be talking with you guys. Good to be talking with you guys. All right. Well, I only planned on doing this for 20 minutes. But yeah, I'll take a couple more questions. Am I going to plant a church? Nope, I don't have any plans to do that. And then glossy. Yeah, the lighting's a little bit bright here. I have to mess with the lighting too. That's for sure. But all right, guys. So that'll be all for now. But let me know in the comments if you think this was good, if I should do it some more. And I hope you found it helpful. God bless.